Hi, I'm Adam Bernard. I created this comic book, V2039 Death Waves Goodbye, and I kind of wanted to show you the underpinnings of this world and what I was creating when I was writing and drawing the story. I was using a world I had created before in my animated series, Road of Vengeance. V2039 takes place 1,000 years later, roughly, in Shangguo, which is Jinyang in Road of Vengeance. I knew I wanted to create a World War II Korea-inspired story because my grandfathers and uncles fought in World War II in Korea. I could take World War II history and Korean history and I could start to modify it to fit my world. The first thing I came up with was my villain and then my hero. And once you have the villain and hero set up, you can really write the story. I would start building dioramas to get a sense of scale, to get a sense of how things might interact. So even if it was something as simple as, what does the background look like? What do huts look like? You really believe that it's a world you're in and not just a comic book panel. So this diorama here, I'm like, okay, what if you had an Aska tank and soldier, you know, what would the background be? On the wall is a propaganda poster by the Sov forces in Shangguo. So you start to get a sense of scale, then you get a sense of detail. This is a temple gate I saw when I was in Japan. I'm like, oh, what if you had a burnt out temple gate as a background? And as I was building out the world, I'm thinking about how you identify friend or foe from the air. So I start to create flags. This is the flag of Aska. And then it expands and grows from there. Little details, there are always these sort of wooden boards they have around temples where people will hang prayers or good wishes on them. I put a propaganda poster on it. And I realized I should be talking about the propaganda posters I built that are in my studio, so I could go run and get them. This is an earlier version of the Sherman Walker I created. It's built on a Stuart body, which is more of a scout tank with a very light gun and very light armament. And I didn't think it stood up enough to my Panther tank, so I built a Sherman that has a high velocity gun on it. And I realized that's much better to have these two fight against one another. And as I was building this Panther Zahn 6-legged spider tank, I took this flak Panther on a Panzer III chassis and turned it into a spider tank so that you would have defensive capability against air power when these Panther tanks were on the march. The Sherman with a high velocity gun probably was a better match for the Panther tank than originally in World War II, where Sherman guns really couldn't damage a lot of Panthers and certainly not Tigers. But what they found on D-Day, if you had a fighter bomber flying overhead, dropping a 500-pound bomb, it would just destroy a tank and literally flip it upside down. So I started trying to build out the world of, okay, if you have a Panther tank, what else do you need? And so I created scout cars and anti-aircraft, and then I started building out the world and building out the armies. So when I was thinking about the Aska forces, I was thinking, oh, you know, you have a little scout tank like what they were using in China and Malaysia, and when the Japanese were sweeping through East Asia in the 30s, using the different types of tanks they had, but then building it into my world to really create something that's new and unique to fit with the map and the world and what was all in my head. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. And please get your copy of V2039 Death Waves Goodbye. It's limited run and you can find the link down here. Get your copy.